The morning was gorgeous. It was weird how getting rid of an old crush had cleared her vision. Her plan had been flawed, but that didn't mean she shouldn't get busy on a new one. A new one that might just be tall and dark and handsome. She really shouldn't obsess so much about being in perfect control. And anyway, she could handle the vampire. She certainly handled the fairy. She was definitely interested in Colin. Or at least, she thought she might be interested in him. Well, she was going to stop by the gallery on her way home from school to get her purse. She'd see then if there really was any attraction going on with the vamp and take it from there. Summer felt amazingly alive and happy as she slathered black raspberry jam on a piece of toast and munched on it, hurrying out of the cabin on her way to school, and almost tripped and fell face first over the heap of stuff in front of her door. What the? Summer rubbed the knee she landed on, looking back at the pile of my purse, she murmured. Sure enough, her purse was there, right in front of the door. Sitting next to it was a package wrapped in expensive black tissue paper. There was a simple ivory card tapped on it and just said, "For Summer," in an old-fashioned looking cursive script. Intrigued, she fingered the card and then opened the package carefully, so she didn't mess up the beautiful paper. Summer gasped and oothed in pleasure. It was a copy of the Romeo and Juliet painting, reproduced in oil and on canvas, and framed in an exquisite gold-painted wood frame. "Colin," she whispered, and felt a thrill of pleasure thrown through her at the sound of his name. "This might be the most romantic thing I've ever heard," Jenny said over the barely edible lunch they'd bought from the vomitorium, aka the school cafeteria. "It has to have come from him, right?" Jenny rolled her eyes. "Of course it came from him. Hello? He brought back your purse, and now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe he's the only vampire you got zapped into the R&J painting with." "Definitely the only one. The vamp is wooing you," Jenny said smugly. "Wooing? Is that even still a word?" "Yes, and that's what he's doing, so prepare yourself." "For what?" Jenny shook her head sadly. "Oh, you poor child. I would imagine that a rough ballpark on your vampire's age is probably at least 200. Summer blinked. "He's not my vampire. Yet," Jenny said. 200? Summer said as if she hadn't spoken. As in years old? Yep. Wow. And as that very tasteful experience and sexy gift shows, men used to know how to do some wooing. Wow. Summer considered Jenny's words as she tried to chew her soy burger. "I'm going over there," she said decisively. "To the gallery?" "Yes, I'm going to thank him for the painting and for returning my purse. Plus, I'd like to make sure there is no misunderstanding about anything he might have accidentally seen last night. You lost me on that one. Ken kissed me goodnight last night. So, you said you decided you're totally not interested in him." "I did, and it was his kiss that sealed my decision. But first, I thought I should give him a chance, which meant I kissed him back. Again, so? Well, I was kissing him and looking over his shoulder and thinking about the moon and lesson plans and stuff, and I thought I saw something, or someone, outside by the edge of the woods. Then the next morning, I found my purse and the painting on my front porch." "Wait, back up. Kenny was kissing you, and you were thinking about lesson plans and crap like that?" Summer nodded. "That's a damn shame. I don't know what the hell's wrong with fairies these days. Kenny Benny doesn't ring my bell, but damn, he's a fairy. A fae, being who practically has sex and flourishes for a living. He should be able to hold a woman's attention with a kiss." Don't be so hard on him. I'd just been kissed by Colin, and the comparison was not good for Kenny. Jenny rolled her eyes. Yet you were going on and on about how you weren't interested in the vamp, and how he wasn't your type, and how he didn't fit into your control freak plan. I'm not a control freak, or at least not all the time. Anyway, Colin might not be exactly what I've thought of as my type, but he definitely is a better kisser than Ken. Big surprise there, Jenny said. Be nice, Summer said. Jenny rolled her eyes again. Like I said, I'm going to swing by the gallery after school. This time, it'll be just me, and not a busload of dreams and hormones. Maybe a spark will fly again between us. Maybe not, but I'm going to give him a shot. Good idea. And speaking of germs and hormones, I'm not done deciding on the damn Poldon kid's detention for that bullshit spell he cast yesterday. I'm still looking into the he had an accomplice angle. You might want to interrogate MacArthur. They are buds. Oh, and remember, don't tell him about my magic. She added quickly. I got it. The first 100 times you told me to keep quiet about it. Don't worry. I think it's hilarious that they don't know about your magic. Makes them think their magic is totally screwed up, which serves them right. They shouldn't be using magic at school or at school events. Brats, Jenny said, eyes flashing. The bell rang and both women sighed. Back into the fry, Jenny said. Do you think it's possible to Shakespeare freshmen to death? Summer asked. One only can hope, Jenny said. Summer checked her lipstick in her car rearview mirror and smoothed her hair, feeling insanely thankful that the day was bright and clear and humidity-free, which meant she was having a good hair day. She glanced at the front of Dark Shadows. There were no other cars parked close by, and she mentally crossed her fingers that 3 o'clock was too early for evening visitors and too late for lunchtime visitors, so it would be empty. Well, except for Colin, that is. She could do this. She could go inside and smile and thank him for returning her purse and leaving such a great gift. She could figure out a way to let him know that Kenny was history, and maybe, just maybe, she could see if that amazing sizzle that sparkled between them yesterday was more than just a magical flock. Then, she could consider revising her future plan to include him. Before she could chicken out, Summer forced herself to get out of the car and enter the dark, cool gallery. Her first thought was that her hunch had been right. The gallery appeared deserted. Her second thought was that it was very comfortable to be standing there all by herself, with only the feeling of being watched to keep her company. The feeling of being watched. She definitely could feel eyes on her. Dark, hungry, intense eyes. Almost as if he drew her gaze. She turned her head and looked deeper into the shadows of the gallery. Sure enough, Colin was standing there, his gaze locked on her. Good afternoon, Summer, he said. His voice reminded her of dark chocolate and wine, and sex. Hi, she blurted, hating how nervous she sounded. Then, she cleared her throat and got control of herself. I hope you don't mind me just dropping in like this. Her lips tilted up slightly. It's a gallery. The idea is for people to drop in. Then I'm glad. I have the right idea, she said, tilting her own lips up. And I'm glad you came by. I wanted to see you again. Would you like to come back to my office? Yes I would. Summer's smile increased as she followed Colin, getting another excellent view of his tight butt as he led her through the room with the Romeo and Juliet painting, back to an inconspicuous door that opened to an ornate, fuzzily decorated office. This is definitely not you, she said, running her fingers down the back of the gilded Louis. the something or other chair. Then her gaze flew up to him as she tried to gauge if she just offended him. He simply shrugged and said, "You are right. This is Barnabas's office, and it's definitely him. He likes pomp and circumstances and lots of gold."